Guys, it's Emily, and today I'm here to bring you my 7 and 7 readathon wrap-up. Now, I didn't make a TBR for this because I only started working on the prompts on Wednesday. I had been planning to read, do Dewey's on Saturday, and I was like, I can get 7 things done in a week. If they're small things, I'm going to try to do 7 and 7. So that's what I did, and I completed all the challenges, so that's really exciting. So let's just get right into it. First prompt is to just read 7 things over the course of the week, and this is like the main challenge that they really want you to do. So the book that I'm putting in this category is Giant Days Volume 2, which is by a variety of people, but was created by John Allison. And I read the first 3 volumes of Giant Days. Giant Days is a graphic novel series about 3 friends that are going to college in London, or it's called University in Britain, so University, and we get to see their challenges. There's academic challenges, and they have boy troubles, and they're in. Susan is really into the school politics, so it's Susan and Esther and Amy. Is it Amy? I think it's Amy. Susan, Esther, and Amy. And Susan is like a tomboy, and then Esther's sort of like a goth girl, and then Amy is like the one that was homeschooled, very, naive, but very sweet. I definitely relate to Amy the most. But yeah, it's a really great book, and a really great series, and I read, as I said, the first 3. So yeah, really great, and I really like the series, and I'm definitely going to continue on with the series with other readathons later down the road. The second prompt was to read a book with yellow on the cover, so for this one I picked Giant Days Volume 1. Again, really great series. Love it. The third prompt is to read a book that's outside of your comfort zone, and for this I read The Princess Saves Herself in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is a book of poetry, and you can see it's a very, you can't really see it, but they're very short poems, they're not very long, and they are sort of over here on one side. So even though this has 200 pages, it's a relatively fast read. Unfortunately, I didn't love this one as much as I thought I would. I only gave it 2 stars. I sort of felt like it was intentionally being like Instagram worthy, like every page was like, oh yeah, I should post that on Instagram. And it just felt like it was very designed to be on social media, and I don't know, it was okay, but I didn't love it. Fourth prompt was to read a book that started with the same initial as your name, and for this I read Deafo by CeCe Bell. My name's Emily. Deafo starts with an E. This was a really fantastic book. I highly recommend this book. 5 stars. This is a graphic novel about CeCe Bell's experiences losing her hearing in the 1970s. She got meningitis, and she became moderately deaf. She had lost almost all of her hearing, and she had to have a very high-powered hearing aid to wear to her school. And it's about her experiences with that, and how she eventually is able to make friends with people despite having this disability. And it's a really great story. The art is really pretty as well. It's just a really lovely story. And I have been wearing hearing aids since I was about 5 years old, and I actually picked this up because Elizabeth over at Lizzie Babe Love Books mentioned this book to me after I mentioned reading A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall, which has a character that wears a hearing aid. And this is just I'm really glad I picked this up. Thank you for the recommendation, Elizabeth. It was so good, and it was a really great readathon book. I read it in the course of the afternoon on Saturday, and it was just really, really good. I highly recommend it. 5 stars. Yes, just really, really good. Really great. Prompt number 5 is to read a book that either takes place outside or read a book entirely outside. And for this, I read Giant Days Volume 3. Saturday morning, I took my coffee and my Pop-Tart out to the courtyard area in my apartment complex, and I sat out there, and it was actually really nice weather, but it was before, it was about 8 a.m., so it was before it got hot. And again, this is a really great series. And reading this outside was actually like the best part of the whole 7 and 7 readathon. It was just a really great, weekend, morning, coffee in hand. Just a really lovely reading experience. And I highly recommend reading a graphic novel outside sometime if you are interested in doing that. It just was a really great experience. Prompt number 6 is to read a book and then create a food or drink that relates to that book. And for this, I picked French Milk by Knisley. And hold on, I'm going to show you what I made. I made this very lovely, let me see if I can show you it. Yeah, you can sort of see it. This very lovely buttermilk gin flip. I was thinking about the title French Milk relates to the fact that Lucy Knisley really loves the milk in France because it's like, not unpasteurized and it's a lot richer than American milk. And so, but then she also talks about like drinking in little cafes, and I was thinking about what if there's a like milk-based alcoholic beverage, and I googled and I found the buttermilk gin flip, and I had gin in my house, but I went out and bought some buttermilk. This has buttermilk, gin, maple syrup, nutmeg, and a whole egg, which is kind of weird. And unfortunately, I'm not really enjoying this. It's got a little too much gin for me. I prefer my gin to be like covered up with other liquids. But anyhow, this is okay. I'm going to finish this, but I'm not going to ever make this again. And I also had a plate of macaroons while I was reading the book. So here's another plate of macaroon. And in case y'all were wondering, I got these at Kroger, which is really cool because I had been going to Trader Joe's, and the nearest Trader Joe's to me is about 15 miles away, but there's a Kroger just down the street. So yeah, these are pretty good, but they're not as good as the Trader Joe macaroons, so I'll probably still go to Trader Joe's every now and then. But yeah. And then the last prompt was to read a book that either took place in your home country or was written by somebody in your home country. And for this, I picked An Age of License, a travelogue, again by Lucy Knisley. Lucy Knisley grew up in New York City, and she also lived in Chicago for a while. So she's definitely American, even though both of these books that I read by her take place in Paris, France. And then this also takes place, she's going on a European tour, so she's going to Norway for a book tour, and then she goes to Germany briefly, and then she ends up in France. So this is a really great book, and both of these books, these are all graphic novels except for the Lovelace book. But yeah, so that's what I read for 7 and 7 readathon. I had a great time. I've never done 7 and 7 readathon before, but it was a really great experience, and yeah, I'm really glad I got through so many graphic novels. I think graphic novels are a great way to do short-term readathons, and I'm definitely going to keep on doing that for future short-term readathons. So I hope everybody had a great time if you participated in 7 and 7, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!